All right, kids, today we're going to be making chocolate chip cookies. Some of you have made these before, and it's a favorite recipe. Spook, you want to try one? I don't think she likes cookies. Maybe if I made some with chicken for her. So the most important thing is to start by washing your hands. You don't want to do anything until you do that, especially these days. Very important. Now we're actually going to wash them for 20 seconds, but I don't know that you actually have to watch me wash my hands for 20 seconds. Or do you? You need to? Oh, my husband's saying yes. You need to watch me wash my hands for 20 seconds. Is anybody timing this? Do we know how long this is? I don't even know. You really can't do it too long. Is it? Ow! The water's burning. Okay, so maybe we're going to stop now. So here's our ingredients. And I got all of the things out. We got our butter, 2 kinds of sugar, vanilla, baking soda, egg, salt. The cup's going to be for hot water, flour, and chocolate chips. We also need supplies. So we need a bowl, assorted sizes of measuring cups, a big spoon, a spatula, measuring spoons, and a hand mixer comes in very handy. If you don't have one, you can make it without, but it takes a lot of stirring. Coming over to the other side, we need a cookie sheet, some oven mitts or something else to protect your hands, a spatula, and this cooling rack. It's not necessary, but it's helpful as well. And of course, we need an oven. All right, now we're ready to get started. All right, let's take a look at the directions. You see the first thing says to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Let's go do that. I'm just gonna turn around, hope you don't get dizzy. All right, on this one, you push bake, and then what did it say? I think it said 350, and start. Your oven may be different. You might have a knob that you turn or some other way to do it. But that's our first step. To save on supplies, I'm actually only going to make half the recipe. So the recipe says 1 cup of butter. If you want to make a full recipe, that's fine. I think it'll make about 24 cookies, but we're just going to do half. So I'm going to use a half cup of butter. Each one of these sticks is half a cup. It needs to be softened, so leave it sit out for a bit before you get started. And on the directions it says cream together butter, white sugar, and brown sugar until smooth. The butter's in. Now I've got the half cup of brown sugar and the half cup of white sugar. In they go. There it is in the bowl. All right. Now we're gonna cream it. Wonder what that means. Let's see. I think you're gonna try to make it creamy. Now you get your mixer. You don't want it too high. It's gonna get loud. Here we go. Woo! All right, now mix it all together. Woo! Let's pause for a second. It's really important that you have one hand on your mixer and one hand holding the bowl. And while you're mixing it, don't lift it up or you're gonna end up with the cookie batter all over your face. That's not where you want it. You want it in the bowl. So it ends up in your face later in the form of chocolate chip cookies. Every so often, stop your mixing and get your spatula, and you're gonna scrape down the sides. Honey, if you could zoom in, can you see? Can you see? I'm scraping. See that? You wanna get it all in there. All right, and then you're gonna mix some more. Lots of mixing, takes forever. Okay, so this is how it should look before you put in your egg. See what they mean by cream together? You can't really tell what's sugar and what's butter anymore. It's all creamed together. Now we're ready for the egg. Everyone's favorite part, cracking the egg. Recipe calls for 2, but remember, we're doing half. So I'm just gonna use 1 egg. Here we go. You need a nice, like sharp kind of surface. All right, here we go. You don't wanna get any shells in. Oh, how am I doing? I did it, no shells, and the crowd goes wild. Where's my crowd? Honey, some cheers would be nice right about now. He's saying nothing. Oh, wow, that was lame. Thanks, honey. Now we're ready to mix some more. Let's do it. And don't forget your scraping. See, it gets all up on the side of the bowls. Show them, honey. Show them on the side. See, you gotta scrape it down, scrape it down. So like maybe halfway through, you're mixing. Okay, when it's mixed enough, it should look a little lighter in color and kind of fluffy like that. Do you see? Because it was darker before and kind of wet looking. Now it's a little fluffier and light. So we finished beating in our eggs, and now it's time to, let's see, stir in the vanilla. So it says, where is it? 2 teaspoons. So we're gonna do 1 because we're doing half a recipe. And just be real careful, maybe get an adult to help, because if you overfill this, you're gonna get a lot of vanilla in your recipe. So it says to stir it in. So we're gonna get our spoon, and we're just gonna do what it says. We're gonna stir it in. All right, the next thing it says to do is to dissolve baking soda in hot water. I wonder what dissolve means. Any ideas? Well, if you don't know, it means kind of like to melt something. So we're gonna take our baking soda. The recipe says 1 teaspoon, so we're doing half. And see how it's nice and level? You don't want a big old mound of it. Otherwise your cookies will taste kind of funny. So we're gonna put it in this cup because we're gonna melt or dissolve the baking soda with, let's see, what does it say? 2 teaspoons of hot water. Again, we're doing half. So what's half of 2? It's 1, you're right. Okay, so we're gonna put our hot water. Oh, I did a little too much. Darn, I should have measured maybe not right on top. We're just gonna put some of that in the sink. Close enough. All right, we're gonna mix that up. Can you see? Can you see that? Probably hard to see, but what you want is for it just to kind of look like this cloudy water. So it says to add this to the batter, which I'm doing, along with the salt. And it said to do, where is it here? Salt, salt, salt. Where'd you go? Half a teaspoon of salt. So we did 1/4 of a teaspoon because that's half. Now when you're measuring your salt, never ever do like this over your recipe, because if you make a mistake and dump all the salt in your batter, it's gonna be disgusting. All right, it says the next step is to stir in flour. It says we need 3 cups. What's half of 3? That's a tricky one, isn't it? So it's actually 1.5. So I have 1 full cup and another half cup. You don't want them overfilled. See how they're just flat? And you don't want to cram the flour in there. It should be in there kind of loose. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put that in. And then be careful when you're stirring it, because if you stir too fast, it can kind of make a big cloud of dust or spill. I have a really big bowl, but if you have a smaller bowl, you just have to be a little more careful. So you got to stir and stir, and this part can get a little hard. You might need an adult to help because it takes a lot of muscle to stir that flour. And don't forget your scraper. So partway through, see all that flour stuck to the side? Get it down, get it down. We got to get that flour down. There we go. Get the flour down. Oh yeah, get it down. All right, and then you keep mixing, because this takes a while. Now, the key is though, you don't want to over mix it, okay? So as soon as that little flour stuff gets mixed in, you're gonna wanna stop. If you over mix them, it makes them less chewy and delicious. So I'm almost done, see that? Okay, I'm going to stop there. The next part is the best part, chocolate chips. They're going in. All right. Now, it also says nuts in this recipe, but a lot of you guys don't like nuts. If you did, you could add these at the same time. Now again, you don't want to overmix it. You just want to stir until the chocolate chips get mixed in. I think they look ready. Okay, now we need a spoon. I actually forgot to tell you to get one of these spoons out originally, so have a spoon ready. And we're gonna take, maybe, depends how big you want them, really. If you want huge cookies, these are gonna be pretty big. Just make sure they're all about the same size. If you don't like touching the batter, you could have a second spoon. You don't want to handle them too much. You see how I'm just kind of putting them on gently? If you touch them too much, they'll be more crunchy instead of chewy. So they're ready. I forgot to mention, make sure you have about 2 inches or about this much space between your cookies to try to keep them from going together. These are kind of big, so they might actually go together a bit anyway. So I have some leftover dough, which is fine. I can put it on the sheet and make a few more if I want. And now, got my oven ready. It's at 350, and in they go. All right, now it says bake for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer. I'm gonna set it for 9 minutes to just check on them, just in case, because every oven is a little bit different. Some cook faster and some cook slower. So we're gonna take a look at 9 minutes and see how they're doing. Ooh, I can't wait, this is so exciting. We're gonna have cookies. Oh, time to check the cookies. Let's see if they're ready. First I'll turn off the beeping. All right, come over here, Daryl. Let's take a look. We're gonna pull them out so we can get a good look at them. Let's see. Not quite. They're still look a little bit raw. Let's put them in for, maybe 1 more minute? Let's try 1 more minute. All right, we're gonna set the timer again. Let's take a look at them now. Ooh, those look pretty yummy. Let's see under the light. Yeah, I think those will be good. Kind of just a little bit brown. I ended up doing about 3 extra minutes. It really depends how big the cookies are and your oven. So you just cook them until they look like that. Now I'm gonna shut off the oven. Off. Bing. Now that our cookies are done, it's very important to leave them on the pan for about 5 minutes. If we try to scoop them up or eat them right away, they'll just mush together, fall apart. It's not going to work. But in 5 minutes, we can transfer them with the spatula to our cooling rack until they're cool enough to eat. But in 5 minutes, you might be able to eat one. It'll just be a little hot and you'll have to be extra careful. We are ready to transfer them to our cooling rack. So we gotta take our spatula very carefully. Try not to get more than one. And then you can use your hands as long as you haven't touched your face or anything or done anything gross with them. If you did do anything gross, wash them again before you touch the cookies, because nobody wants your gross stuff all over their cookies, just saying. So they've been sitting here for a few minutes and they're still warm, but they're not gonna burn me. Let's see if it's good. Wow. You made amazing cookies. Yay, you. Those are delicious. Bye for now. I can't wait to see you again soon.